John was the director, and Bill Pike and Ray Latham. I think they were in like the very top floor of East Hall with the sociology department. There were 4 of them. They had a secretary, and there were 4 of them in a very small room. And so they were all students, and but they were also working on this program. And so, and I can't remember how often they did the training, but for like a week at a time, people would come, and there were counselors that, like somebody had said, maybe they had gone through treatment, and then they were counseling other people with addiction problems. And so John and Bill and Ray put this program together, and they would come for a week. They would start on Monday morning, and they would go from 8 in the morning till 8 or later at night, and they did this for a week. And it was interesting to listen to you people that thought John was kind of scary, you know. I don't know. But one thing I could remember, and by Friday night, I think he was exhausted. He was, it had been they'd worked really, really hard. But he was always so excited when that week would be done. And, he was so excited about the people who came and how eager they were to learn. And he was always sitting there. They have an innate ability. He said so many of them, most of them. He said they just know how to help people. They know how to listen to people. They're counselors and never have been to school. And I've always thought that was probably, he loved those week-long sessions, and like I said, they were very hard, they were very long, they were very trying, but I think that he felt like they were doing those things that needed to be done or needed to be started. And so, like I said before, John was, he enjoyed visiting, he liked to talk, but you know what? He was an excellent listener. He really liked to talk to people. He liked to hear what they had to say about things and anything. It didn't have to be a problem. I mean, if they wanted to talk about fishing, well, he loved fish, but anyway. So, I guess I always think that was actually where the drug, I guess what they call addiction studies, I think that's where it really started. Back in that 3rd or 4th floor of the sociology department. And it went from there to continuing ed, and then to Julian Hall. I can't remember how many departments they were in throughout the, I think they always felt like sort of the poor relation every place they went. And to be honest, people weren't always so kind to them in all those different places. So anyway, this is, I guess, Kathy, I was hoping maybe that's what you're looking for. I would just like to also say congratulations to you. I've talked to students that have gone through the program, and one thing that they say is, you're like a family. You come in there, they treat you. They sit down, they're interested in what you have to say, and I don't know. It's just a good feeling. It's good to know. And so I want to congratulate all of you that have taught in the program, that you've been in the program for a long time. I think you've done an absolute wonderful job. John died in 2001, and let's face it, this program has just moved upward and onward, and I don't see where it's going to change any. And congratulations, because John's proud.
Thank you, Diane, for sharing those history and those memories. That's precious, and thank you for your gratitude. Jean, are you ready for your? No.
Another pen?
Another pen, yeah.
Thank you. All my notes are in here. Some of them I put up here, but I forgot them. Oh, I want to start out by saying to each and every person in here, thank you, and the ones that were in here earlier, thank you for being here. All the people who've been involved throughout the years. I want to talk about this a little bit differently about Brother John. He called me brother, so I call him Matoy Humble, who gave him the name Bear Dreamer. It's amazing when someone can have a dream and have a vision. And then what's even more amazing is that when that person brings that vision about and brings that dream about, and then gets people to believe in that dream and that vision. Part of the name bear is that, if you know, bears can become very territorial. They're very mighty, so they can be territorial. He had to defend. I had a lot of conversations with him where he had to literally defend what he was doing and defend why he was doing it just all the time. And he wasn't afraid to do that because he believed in the outcome of what was going to come about. He believed in the people that worked with him and for him. And I was one of the people that took classes from Bob and Donna early in my learning career. So I know that the kind of things that they did in teaching, and also how many, literally hundreds, maybe if not thousands of miles that they travel out to the different reservations to teach classes. So I know what they carried and how they did that, and all the other people that were involved with this process, entire process. So I want to talk about Brother John in a little different light. One where he returned to his culture, he returned to his people, and that man had a faith in him in coming back to his ways, his traditional ways, and coming back to his culture. He had so much faith that it was just absolutely amazing. It was absolutely amazing, and it wasn't just amazing, it was pure. There was nothing in between him and the Creator about the way he lived his cultural life and the way he believed his cultural life. Even in the positions that were created at university, the very position I first had at university, I used to work with faculty, staff, and students for a number of years before I even came on as a staff at the university. And the reason I came on was because of Brother John. He said, "You're already doing this stuff." He said, "Might as well get paid for it, so we'll try to get a position for you." You know? And because I had to do it because it needed to be done. So he and Don Eagle were the two that really pushed for that and brought me on board. So I'm always grateful. My start was there. But anyway, Brother John, one time after his heart surgery and going back out towards Wombly, South Dakota, when we used to go to the Sundance out there, we'd go out there as a whole community. All of us would pack up and we'd caravan out towards Wombly, South Dakota by Pine Ridge. And when we get out there, then we'd all camp together. There was a Vermilion camp. And after his heart surgery, one time I said, "Get yourself ready, brother. We're going to pray with you. We're going to take you to the tree." And this is just after heart surgery, right? So we prayed with him, and so one day I said, okay, go get your Sundance skirt. And he said, what? I said, you're gonna come out there and we're gonna pray for you. And on the radio you can hear it says, everybody stay hydrated, stay inside, stay in air conditioning. It's 110 out here, 110 degrees. And meantime, I looked across the way and there's our elders and everybody just dancing out there. No food, no water for days, So it shows you the resiliency and strength that our elders have. Anyway, so he came in there and we brought him out to the tree. He and another person from California that just went through arch surgery too. And we brought him out to the tree and we prayed with him. And then we put him in a line. And after about probably hour and a half, then I walked up to him. I danced up to him. I said, brother, we're going to take you in now. Because he just went, had heart surgery. And 110 degrees and dancing a couple hours. And so I went out there. I said, we're going to take you in, brother. And he said, no. I'm staying out here. So he wouldn't come in. He stayed out there because he said that was such a beautiful place to be. He said, there's no place more beautiful than this. So he said, I want to stay here and I want to finish the round. So he did. He stayed there and he went and finished the round. So, and then the rest of the time in participation in ceremonies, that's exactly how he did it. And that's what all the things that he accomplished in his professional life. And I want to thank Sister Diane too, because nobody ever accomplishes anything unless someone really believes in you. And especially if that someone's right beside you and walking with you and helps you in that process. So thank you, Sister Diane, for everything that Brother John accomplished, you accomplished too. So in that way. So in a cultural way, then through Wasewakpa community that we have today, it was through the altar, and it was through prayer that we have a very strong community. And Brother John is very, very integral in that, in participating, believing, and working in that way. So all the different things wonderful things that you've heard about his professional life, there's even a glorious and beautiful life that he returned to. And then I remember with our prayers in the last days that he was walking on this earth. And through our prayers he came in and we had a real good conversation. And he knew when he was going to go back in the spirit world. And I remember after that, you would think that someone that was told that the time's very short and that he's going to be going back home, you think someone tells you that you're going to pass into the spirit world pretty soon. You think you get nervous and you get uptight and you want to do something about it. But after I told him, he danced out of my office. He was really happy. So that's how much strength, just imagine the internal strength it takes for something like that, to believe for something like that to happen. And sure enough, I think within the 4 days of that, I believe, right, Sister Diane, I think right after that, then he went back home. So I want to just thank Brother John for bringing us all together. Today he's alive in each and every one of us and the things that we do. And collectively, when we come together, then his energy is even more amplified in everything that we do. So thank you for honoring him. Thank you for each one of you working and honoring one another and all that you do. There's so much that you're accomplishing. I'm very honored to have been a student. And I want to sing a song for Brother John and doing this, presenting in this way. And when I sing the song, I'm going to ask if we can have the camera turned off. And for his spirit. So we're all talking about him, then I want to sing a song for his spirit and honor him that way. That way, thank each and every one. Thank you.
give Jean, Donna, and Diane a hand of applause for coming up. I think at this point, we need to give some thanks for a number of people, a number that made this event for what it is today. I think it turned out really good. The memories, I think we'll share for the rest of our life. I learned a lot about John that I didn't know before. And I think the thing about it is the department's still going to continue to make memories as we go forward. And I think this is just a time to stop the clock and just pause for a while to see where we've been and what we've done and where we're going. And I think so everybody deserves a good, pat on the back for anything that you're involved in, your support, whatever you've done over the years. If no one has ever thanked you, I want to thank you today. In addition to that, I want to thank Aramark for the food. I think they did a fine job. They have sweet treats for the cake bites. If you have one, you should. It's hard to stop after one. Especially to Ryan 70 for the videotaping, excellent job. Thanks for the staff at the WH over the museum here for help setting this up. I want to also thank the School of Health Sciences, especially Drew Mahler and Drew Larson for sweating support for us to have this celebration for today. Thanks for the alumni and all the former faculty and other distinguished guests who attended today. We appreciate you making this for what it is. It was 40 years in the making, and we just really appreciate it. And lastly, this probably wouldn't have taken place without the help of Denise Motrell, our secretary. She's done a lot of work. She's standing in the back. Denise is only going to be with us for a few more weeks, and then she's heading off to brighter horizons, not knowing where, but leaving. So she's on an adventure. So, but we'll hope to hear back from her when she lands. So, but we want to give her, we just want to thank her for all the work she's done in setting this up. So, lastly, we're going to have an open mic here for those who feel they need still to say something. You're more than welcome to come up here and share your thoughts or moments. If not, you're welcome just to sit around and continue to share memories, thoughts. We have the room till